معصومين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن الحكيم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Recite salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Before I begin tonight's majlis, I would like to request you recite 1 time Surah Al-Fatiha and 3 times Surah Al-Ikhlas for the marhum Syed Hassan Imran Naqvi, son of Syed Shabihul Hassan Naqvi, and all marhumins of your family. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevate the souls of marhumin and give them lofty position in Jannah. Recite salawat. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala says in the Holy Quran: Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu attaqullah wa kunu ma'as sadiqin. O who have faith, accompany the pious people and have taqwa and accompany the truthful one. This is the message of Quran, that we should purify ourselves first, and then we have to follow those they are purified one. Here tonight, we gather together to discuss the legacy of Imam, our 4th Imam, Imam Ali ibn al-Hussein, Zainul Abidin, Syed Sajjad alayhi salam. And if you look the life of Imam, you'll see many challenges. As I have been asked that what would be the topic of tonight's majlis, I said that we are going to discuss the strategies of Imam alayhi salam against the tyrants of his time. And if you look the life of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, you can divide his life in different segments, in different parts. The very first part that doesn't say anything about the life of Imam alayhi salam up to 22 years of his life. Why? Because at that time, he is having 3 Imams. After 2 years, after his birth, he is living under the imamat of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, his grandfather. And then another 10 years, almost 12, with Imam Hassan Al-Mustafa alayhi salam, and then his own father, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So almost 22 years of his life is under the imamat of 3 Imams. And that is the system, you can say, and fashion, and the message for us, that if there is a leader, anyone who has been appointed for the leadership as a divine leader, other than him, none have authority to speak, to say anything, to deliver anything, or to have any share in as far as the divine leadership concerned. This is the system. And today we have, sometimes, there is a question that what should we do? What should I, where should we go? Where should we head? What should I do, for example? So many people, they live their life in chaos, in anxiety, confusion, dilemma. What should I do? You should select a leadership. You should go under the umbrella of leadership. Then your problems will be sorted out. So when Imam Ali was there, you don't see any single statement from Imam Hassan Mustafa alayhi salam. When Imam Hassan Mustafa alayhi salam, he has been appointed as a divine Imam, you don't see any single statement from Imam Hussein alayhi salam. When Imam Hussein alayhi salam has been appointed as an Imam, you don't see single statement from Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. Though you will say, oh, Maulana, he was just 2 years old. For Imamat, there is no there is no foundation of age. Imam is Imam. Inni Abdullah atani al-kitab waj'alni nabiyya. Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, he declared his prophecy while he was in cradle. So for Imam and for the appointed leader, there is no age limit. Age limit is not a barrier. So though Imam was 2 years old at the time of Imam Ali alayhi salam, he knew. Same thing we are going to discuss, like how Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam is the living, you can say, manifestation of the tradition, who gave this tradition of Karbala to us, you know. Though he was sick, he was in the tent whole day of Ashura. All the martyrs, they martyred. Imam was unconscious somehow, like, you know, Imam, this is a masala fiqhi also, that the way we go unconscious, Imam never has such a level of unconsciousness. Imam Masoom, I mean. But due to extreme sickness, Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, on the day of Ashura, he was in his tent. He didn't know what is going on. And that's why you always hear in Masaib, then when Imam Hussein alayhi salam came to see him last time, and Lady Zainab Salamullah alayha, she comes and shook the shoulders of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam and asked, oh my son, look, your father came to see of you. And when he saw Imam and his wound, the first ever question he asked, Aina Amun al-Abbas? Ya Abati, Aina Amun al-Abbas? Oh my father, where is my uncle Abbas? And he was asking, Aina, and then when he reached to this stage, when Aina Akhi Aliyunul Akbar. This is the point. Imam alayhi salam, he kept quiet. Imam Hussein alayhi salam didn't say anything. You always hear in Masaib this point. Why? Because Imam alayhi salam knew what is the pain a person can bear after having the news of the death of his own brother. Because the moment before, Imam alayhi salam, he made this statement, Al-an in kasara dahr, when he heard the last salam from Abul Fazl al-Abbas alayhi salam. So Imam alayhi salam knew, and that's why he changed the topic. He didn't say Aliyun al-Akbar has been martyred. No, he said, in short, oh my son, in short, only me and you are remaining as a men in these tents. Nobody is remaining. Imam didn't say that, yes, your brother has been killed, martyred. So Imam alayhi salam, you see, the first phase of his life, history doesn't say anything. But the second phase of his life was, though very short, but full of lessons. But unfortunately, we look that short period as a period of sorrow and grief. Of course, we have to see that short period from Ashura till they freed from the imprisonment of the Yazid in Damascus, and they left Damascus and arrived to the Medina. That period is very short period. According to narrations, different. 1 year they stayed in the prison or few days, but most of the narrators, they say it was not possible for Yazid, may Allah curse upon him, to hold them for a whole year. Why? I show you the example. How Lady Zainab Salamullah alayha says that, O Yazid, فَكِدْ كَيْدَكَ وَسَعْيِكَ وَنَاسَبَ جَحْدَكَ فَلَا وَاللَّهِ تَمْهُ ذِكْرَنَا وَلَا تُمِيتُ وَحْيَنَا وَلَا تُدْرِكُ أَمْدَنَا وَلَا تَرْخَصُ أَنْكَ آرِهَا. Oh Yazid, sometimes we challenge. Whatever you want, do. Whatever you can do. You do. You cannot do anything wrong against me. So the Lady Zainab salamu alayha, she challenged Yazid. Oh Yazid, you kill our men, you kill my brother, you kill my sons and my nephews and niece, but make sure you cannot wipe out the remembrance of us Ahlul Bayt from the hearts of the Mu'mineen. This is the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the living example and miracle of today we are here. That you cannot remove the love of we Ahlul Bayt from the hearts of Mu'mineen. You cannot remove the wahi, the revelation. You know, today the most important challenge we have is this faith of revelation. Sometimes our youth, they ask question that what is the purpose of revelation? Revelation means what? Wahi, Quran, you know, the words of Allah. Why there is a revelation? Because the whole dispute you have from the day one, from Adam alayhi salam till Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, recite salawat please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. The fight between pupil and the divine leadership was that nobody was ready to accept the divine revelation. This was always a kind of a nature of arrogance, that I cannot accept anything beyond other than my own intellect. That is the fight as it started from Adam alayhi salam till now, and this will go up to the Qiyamah. Why do I accept other commands outside my own self? And this is the main argument today we have. And this creates, and this argument and faith has created another faith that you call atheism. Why people they became atheists? Because they say, we are all powerful, we have all capabilities, I can understand, I can judge, I can understand what is wrong, what is right for us, what sort of food is good for me, what is bad for me, what sort of clothing is good for me. Everything I know with my aql, then why should I have accept the wahy and revelation? And even Yazid, he said the same statement, that this was the game of Banu Hashim, Laybat Banu Hashim. You know, Banu Hashim, they played our drama, nauzubillah, astaghfirullah. There was no revelation, there was no wahi has been revealed. And this was the faith of Banu Umayyah. They were carrying from generation to generation. But Yazid, he said this openly. Like shaitan, Quran says, you know, Aba wastakbara wa kana minal kafirin. The germs, the bacteria of kufr was hidden inside shaitan. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked to prostrate in front of Adam alayhi salam, he said, no, how come I have to prostrate? You made me from fire and you made Adam from dust. And fire is superior than dust. It has more power than dust. So how come I do sajda? This superiority, this arrogance, this pride, takabbur, istikbar was inside shaitan. But because of his worship, he went into the group of angels. Before Majlis I was talking. This is the law of nature. We have to learn the law of nature. Today you say nature, or what do you say? The law of, Quran says, فَأَقِمْ وَجْهَكَ لِلدِّينِ حَنِيفًا فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا لَا تَبْدِيلَ لِخَلْقِ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ. There is no alteration in the nature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nature is very accurate. You hold this in bracket, and then I will come back to my topic. Natural laws are very accurate. They are not gonna, give you any chance or any relaxation. If you eat more sugar and you have less activities, you will face consequences. But if you pray your salah of Fajr, let's say in 1.5 minutes, and someone is praying 5 minutes, can you judge that his or her salah who prays in 5 minutes is better than the person who prays in 1.5 minutes? No, you cannot judge. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the niyat of your hearts. That if you have prayed the salah in 1.5 minutes, but with the niyat of fulus, with the sincerity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that would be appreciated. But if you pray nicely, the story, but for children I tell you, there was a man, he was praying salah inside the masjid, and then he heard a noise of door, some old types of door, when you open, they gives you a noise like. So he thought that someone has entered in the masjid. And he started praying nicely his prayer with qiraat and sujood and long ruku. After a few hours, it came in his mind, let us see who has entered at least. So when he turned back, what he saw? A dog was sitting. Now, the hours and hours he prayed, this prayer was, you can say, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, it was for a dog. A man came in the battle at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He got martyred. Somebody said, Haniyan leka. Oh, glad tidings to you. You got shahadat. Well, Rasulullah said, hold on. This man lost his donkey and he was looking for and came into the battlefield. He got one arrow and killed. So his death is not the death of martyrdom. Every death is not the death of martyrdom. So we look, I was telling the law of nature is very accurate. If you do anything less or more in ibadat or which is directly related to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you go anything against the law of nature, you will see the consequences. If you have not chosen the divine leadership, you will face the leadership. They are evil. If you have not accepted, if you give the personality like Shahid al-Sadr, rahmatullah alayh, of course, Saddam-like person will come and they will rule over you. If you are not ready to defend the leadership, right leadership, then of course, someone else will come and that is the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That if you are not going to follow the rules of the divine leadership, make sure Allah will replace you. Allah will replace you. So Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, if you look the life, second phase, though he was having so many challenges from the Ashura, but the first ever challenge, when Zainab salamullah alayha comes and asks, oh my son, Zainul Abidin, tell us, what should I do? Should I remain in the tents and die? Or should we go outside? Alaykunna al-farar. Ya amme, ya ammati. Oh my aunt, you leave the tents because you have to save the life. This was the first ever fatwa Imam alayhi salam has given after he became the Imam. And then what challenges he saw? In the court of Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad, the first ever attack on the system of God. We have two, ideologies. One is Jabr and another is Tafweed. Something, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created we human beings with free will. We have another sort of, you can say, creation of Allah. They have only intellect. There is no desire. like angels, only intellect. Animals, they have only desires, no intellect. Human being only is the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is mixture of, amalgamation of two things, desires and intellect. This intellect gives us a free will. So what Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad says, that who is this man? Somebody told he is Ali ibn al-Hussein. He said, I heard that Ali was killed, Allah killed him in the battle of Karbala. Imam stood up. Oh, Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad, your army men killed. He was my brother Ali ibn al-Hussein, Ali ibn al-Akbar, and your army killed. Yes, Allah takes the soul at the time of death. Quran says, no doubt, Allah takes the souls. Not even the angel of death, Hazrat Israfil, Malakul Maut. No, Allah takes souls at the time of death. No doubt. But your people, they kill. Why? Because Allah, if Allah takes, this was the ideology. Today Salafists, they follow the same ideology of Jabr. That whatever is happening, we have no role play in this world. If this type of, so Imam challenged this ideology. Another challenge is Imam sees at the time of, this is the period of second, phase of Imam. From Karbala to Kufa, and from Kufa to Damascus. What happened? Imam alayhi salam, he is standing in a one corner of the today so-called Masjid of Umayyah, but that was not a mosque, you can say. The court of Banu Umayyah, and Yazid started praising, and a man came and he said, Alhamdulillah, praise be Allah who humiliated you people and, killed your men. And then Imam asked, oh man, have you recited ever the Holy Quran? Yes, of course, I am the Hafiz of Quran. Have you ever reached to this ayah, قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمُعَبَّدَةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى? Yes. Have you reached to this ayah, آتِ ذَا الْقُرْبَى حَقَّهُ? Yes. Have you reached this ayah, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا? Yes. So these ayah talks about whom? Ahlul Bayt. And then Imam says, we are Ahlul Bayt. Minna Ahlul Bayt. So now it became clear, the Yazid who was showing that I have killed the people, these people, they were rebellion, they were Baghi, and now with one statement, it became clear that no, we are the family of Ahlul Bayt and they are the killers of Ahlul Bayt. This one statement. Another step, when Yazid asked his men that you go on the pulpit and then you praise Banu Umayyah, came there, started praising and this. So many times, even today if you look, though people, they know what is the haqq and what is the batil. But because sometimes it happens because of the haram food which is filled in their bellies, because of that, or sometimes because of the circumstances, because of the situation, because of the conditions, because of the politics, because of the environment, they are not able to say the truth, or they are not able to accept the truth. Today you can see, even right now, in a right away, you can see what is happening in our contemporary world. But so many times we don't have courage because of immigration laws, because of PR, because of, work permit, because of passport. So many, zip your mouth. Al-yawm nakhtimu ala afwahihim. Today I have zip your mouth. We are not allowed to say anything. What is happening in the world? Why? Because it will happen. Your benefits will be taken away. Okay, so we are going to achieve these benefits? No. This is the promise of Allah. How Imam Hussain salam says, oh Pisare Saad, if you came to kill me just for the power of the Ray, the khatre Shahr Ray, Hukumat Shahr Ray, Shahr Ray, hich begandume Ray ham na mirasi. You cannot reach to the grain of the wheat of the Shahr Ray, the city of Ray. You know, Pisar Sad was a big guy, I mean, millionaire at that time, because his father, Saad bin Abi Waqqas, was a multi-millionaire. Though he was the companion of Rasulullah, Pisar Sad was having so many castles and bungalows in Kufa, in Basra, in Egypt, Misr. He was having so many orchards. He was having so many farm land. Everything was there. But once as he receives this offer, if you kill Imam Hussein, you will receive the hukumat of Ray. Now everything finished. The man who fought, with Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam, with the side of Amir al-Mu'minin salam in Battle of Siffin, now he is confronting Imam Hussein, and not only he is the man who threw the first arrow on the day of Ashura after the Fajr Salah, Hamle Ula you call, and he said, "Oh people, you should be witness that the first arrow I am throwing towards the tent of Hussein is me, Umar Saad." How come this Umar Saad, he became that much worse? Because of the dunya, because of the mal. So if we are running towards mal, we cannot achieve anything. And then Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, he said, recite salawat please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. When the man came and he started praising Banu Umayyah, Imam was keeping quiet, and he stood up and said, "Ayyuhan nas, O people, if you do not know, you know me. I'm going to tell you." And first Imam says the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and praise of Rasulullah. And he says, "Ayyuhan nas, u'tina sitta, wa faddalna sab'a, bisab'a. U'tina al-ilma, wal-hilma, wal-samahata, wal-fasahata, wal-shaja'ah. Wal-mahabbata," this is the very important, "wal-mahabbata fi qulub al-mu'minina. ففضلنا بأن منا النبي المختار محمدا ومنا الصديق ومنا الطيار ومنا أسد الله وأسد رسوله ومنا سيدة نساء العالمين ومنا سبط هذه الأمة." Oh people, Allah has given us 6 blessings and 7 merits. Allah has given us hilm, ilm, samaha, mahabbat fi qulub al-mu'minina, and fasahat, eloquence. Our words can remain up to Qayamat. Our love can remain up to Qayamat. Our ilm can lead every time period of the world. If you have ulum of Al Muhammad, you are the superior. If you don't have, nothing. And for this superiority, how the lovers of Ahlul Bayt, they showed the loyalty. You know, the story of Ali bin Yaqtin was the prime minister of the tyranny ruler of his time, Harun Rashid. He comes to Imam and, "Imam, am I allowed to work for this tyranny? Imam said, "Okay, in one condition, if you help our people, our followers." And he became prime minister and working. One day a man came, his name was Ibrahim Jamal. He came to meet him, Ali bin Yaqtin, in his court. He was a prime minister. But due to any reason, he was not having any time to meet with Ibrahim Jamal. And Ibrahim Jamal came back. Time finished. The season of Hajj came. Ali ibn Yaqtin came to Hajj. He has performed his Hajj, and after Hajj he said, "Now we go to the ziyarah of our Imam of our time." Knocked the door. Imam refused, denied to meet him. One time, second time, third time, he realized that, "Oh, I have done something wrong. If it was me, I would think that, oh, maybe Imam has some, na'uzubillah, astaghfirullah, some confusion. Like, today you say, "Oh, let's say openly, why they have planned this or this life. For example, oh, they have some confusion like regarding today's leadership. If you have, you relate the history, always relate the history. Otherwise you will, the history at the time of 14 years ago, 1400 years ago history will become a tale, like, will become like history, like something which is not related to us. But if you relate to the time of your time, of course, you will get a result. So many times people, they are confused. Why? Okay, let's say our Maharaja, our leaders today, why they have taken this type of decision, okay? Why? They know better. So he said, there was something wrong, I have done something wrong. And then he was waiting, and then finally Imam gave this message that you have not given time to my one-of follower. And here I want to tell you last thing and I finish. What happened? Then he asked, oh Imam, now how do I compensate this my fault and this my shortcoming? Imam said, okay, you go and ask for forgiveness from Ibrahim Jammal. Ya Mawla, O Sayyidi, Ibrahim Jammal is in, another place, like, I'm in Medina, he's in Baghdad. How do I go there? Imam said, go to the, one of the cemetery graveyard, you will see a camel, you ride and you will reach within eye blinking to there. Sometimes our youth, they ask if Imam will reappear. How do we reach to Makkah? The riwayah says, very clear riwayah says that at the time will come and people will see the zuhur of Imam on their palms. The riwayah says, this is your palm. You will see the zuhur of Imam alayhi salam in your riwayah says. Not today's riwayah, 1400 years ago. So how do you reach to Imam? Imam said, if you have wish, desire to see the Imam, you will automatically reach to Makkah. No, don't worry about that. But the thing is that you accept the divine leadership. He came, Ibrahim Jammal knocked the door. It was mid of the night. Ibrahim Jammal, he opened the door and sees the prime minister of his time is in front of his door. Ya Allah, what wrong I did, now you are here? He said, no, I did wrong with you. So what should I do? You just forgive me. Okay, I forgive you. My Allah forgives you. No, not like this. Then what? He said, I'm going to lie down. And you take your shoes and rub on the earth and put on my cheek. I want to show the dust of your shoes to Imam of our time that I have asked forgiveness in this way. And Ali bin Yaqtin came back and then Imam hugged him. This desire can give us salvation. And Imam Zainul Abidin Islam, he made this is the love can save you. And Imam gave this point, strategy, how you can survive at the time of distress, at the time of, trial and tribulation. If you are connected to Imam of your time, then of course. And then Imam alayhi salam said, oh Yazid, what are you saying this? That you got victory over us? No. And then Yazid asked that you say azan because this man is, going to destroy my whole emperor of my father, 42 years old. Somebody has done very nice calculation that 42 years older, the power of Banu Umayyah, that's only his father, Muawiyah, has been ruined in just few minutes of the taqreer, of his speech and khutbah of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, and said he was waiting, the muazzin went to say adhan to stop Imam. Once he said Allahu Akbar, Imam stood up and said Allahu Akbar. We said Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Imam said all my body parts give the witness that Allah is the only God. And when he reached to this line, Ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah, and then Imam asked, oh Yazid, tell me, who is this Rasulullah? If you say he's your grandfather, you are lying. And if you say he is my grandfather, of course he is my grandfather. Now tell people why you killed, why you brought these ladies, my ladies in this court. There was no answer. And this made everything. The Yazid was died at that time. You can say, finish. Imam finished the emperor of Banu Umayyah with one single statement. This was the strategy. Inshallah, if we had time, another time, we will discuss another strategies of Imam alayhi salam in Medina. That was really beautiful. That was really need of our today's time. How do we tackle, how do we deal with, the situation today we have in the light of Imam? But of course, this was not an easy task. And that's why whenever Imam was seeing any animal being slaughtered, he used to go and ask to the butcher, have you given water to this animal? Yabna Rasulullah, you taught us this rule in Sharia. How come we slaughter an animal without giving water? Yabna Rasulullah, oh my father, you have been killed without water. And when Annie was saying, a man came and said, Ana gharib. Imam said, oh my brother, how come you say gharib? You have deprived, you have no food, but you say gharib. My father was gharib, whose bodies were laying on the plains of Karbala, but the enemies, they buried their dead najis to the Karbala, but my father's body was laying on the Karbala. Yes, Imam alayhi salam, how he lived 35 years, and the one thing always Imam remembers, that Asham, Asham, Asham. People, they used to ask, what happened to Ibn Rasulullah in Sham? You don't know, when my aunts, my sisters and my mothers, they entered in the court of Yazid. Can you imagine? The people were sitting and these ladies, they were entering without the veil, without the makna. That was the moment Imam like Masoom, he wished that if I would die before seeing this stage, this situation. Yes, but Imam has alayhi salam has gone through all this pain and sorrow. But one day when Imam came back to Medina, his life was always in pain. Whenever he was walking in the Medina, Imam, whenever he sees the son of Abul Fazl alayhi salam, Abbas alayhi salam, he used to call, oh my son, come to me. And then he asked to people, look, this is the son of my uncle who has been killed. When he came down from the horse, he was not having any arms. Can you imagine how Imam alayhi salam is saying the Marsiya and lamenting on Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam? But my salam to Lady Zainab salamullah alayha, how she defended, how she protected Imam alayhi salam many places. The first ever, when these captive, they were leaving Karbala for the Kufa, enemies, they were passing through between the dead bodies of their martyrs. But Imam alayhi salam, he is looking his father, his father Abu Abdullah, his body is lying on the earth. Imam's face color turned pale. Bibi Zainab said, oh Zainul Abidin, what I see, you are very close to die. Oh my aunt, you see my father is lying on the Karbala, but I can't do. This was the moment Bibi Zainab, Lady Zainab salamullah alayha, she protected Zainul Abidin. Another way, she protected in the court of Ubaidullah, when Ubaidullah, he commanded to kill Zainul Abidin. And the third her time when Yazid wanted to kill, yes, Zainab protected. Zainab protected all the children. Zainab gave protection to all the ladies, never cried for her own children. But when Zainab comes back to Medina, and when she went to the Rawda of Rasulullah, she cried, Ya Rasulullah, oh my grandfather. Zainab came, but she has lost all her belongings, all her beloved. Yes, Zainab finished the sorrow and pain with Rasulullah and came to the shrine of her mother. And once at the final, when Zainab came, entered to her own house, when she went to the small chambers of Auno Muhammad, now she fall down. Oh, Auno Muhammad, you forgive me, but I couldn't cry you. You know, my children, why? Because if I could cry on you, how would I give, sabr and patience to Rabab? How would I give patience to Kulthum? How would I give patience to Layla? And that's why I didn't cry upon you. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allah lanatullahi ala al-qawmi zalimin. Wa sayalamu alladhina zalamu ayyamun qalbi yanqalbun. Oh Allah, you accept our azah, and whatever reward you have set for this majlis, I request you, we send to our marhumin, especially our brother Asad's father, Syed Hassan Imran Naqvi, and son of Syed Shabiul Hassan Naqvi. May Allah elevate his soul in Jannah, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always keep us alive in this dunya with the love of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, and when we depart this world with the love of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. And may Allah hasten the reappearance of Imam of our time, and give us tawfiq to follow Imam of our time, and give us tawfiq to see Imam of our time with our physical eyes. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Sham ka bazar, abid bimar. 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 पाँव में बेरी तो के गराबार. शाम का बाजार, आबिद बीमार. 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 भूलेगा न वो मंजर नेज़े पे सरे सरवर. भूलेगा न वो मंजर नेज़े पे सरे सरवर. बेमकना बेचादर, बलवे में फूफी मादर. और मजमे कुफार, आबिद बीमार. शाम का बाजार, 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 आबिद बीमार. बाजार की ज़ेबाई कोठों पे तमाशाई. बाजार की ज़ेबाई कोठों पे तमाशाई. आदा की सफाराई, اور عالم تنہائی وہ بے کس و لاچار عابد بیمار شام کا بازار 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 عابد بیمار دربار میں سروریا آتے حرم گریا دربار میں سروریا آتے حرم گریا اٹھنے لگا ایک طوفان محشر کا سہے ساما جنبش میں ہے دربار عابد بیمار شام کا بازار 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 عابد بیمار بو پائی تو گھبرا کر بچی نے کہا رو کر بو پائی تو گھبرا کر بچی نے کہا رو کر اس تشت میں جو سر وہ تو ہے سر سرور کیسے کروں دیدار عابد بیمار شام کا بازار 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 عابد بیمار کہنے لگی پھر رو کر پیاری ہے اگر دختر کہنے لگی پھر رو کر پیاری ہے اگر دختر آ جاؤ یہ ہاتھوں پر سب دیکھ لے یہ منظر الفت کا ہو اظہار عابد بیمار شام کا بازار 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 عابد بیمار جب بابا کا سر پایا دل بچی کا بھر آیا جب بابا کا سر پایا بچی کا بھر آیا ہر ظلم کو دہرایا لوگوں نے جو سن پایا آنکھیں ہوئی خوبار عابد بیمار شام کا بازار 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 عابد بیمار یا حسین یا حسین
یا حسین در بهار شادابی شکوه از خزان دارم در بهار شادابی شکوه از خزان دارم در بهار شادابی رم همچو لاله خود روی داغ باغبان دارم همچو لاله خود روی داغ باغبان دارم در بهار شادابی در بهار شادابی در کمین گلچینه بی مروت گلها در کمین گلچینه بی مروت گلها آه و ناله هم دارم اشک ارغوان دارم در بهار شادابی شکوه در بهار شادابی. از جفای گل چینان باغ گل بخون تر شد. از جفای گل چینان باغ گل بخون تر شد. غنچه های خون آلود زینت سنان دارم در بهار شادابی. در بهار شادابی. چیده در سبدهایی در میان محمل ها. چیده در سبدهایی در میان محمل ها. دست دست نیلوفر بار اشتران دارم در بهار شاد. در بهار شاد. میروم به سوی شام دل شکسته و گریان. میروم به سوی شام دل شکسته و گریان. سرپرستی از گلها جای باغبان دارم در بهار شادابی. شکوه از در بهار شادابی. ناگهان شکوفا شد لاله‌ای ز نوک نی. ناگهان شکوفا شد لاله‌ای ز نوک نی. گفت ای گل زهرا چون تو باغبان دارم در بهار شادابی. در بهار شادابی. در میان این گلها روی و نخلهای نی. در میان این گلها روی نخلهای نی. نوشکوفه هم دارم هم گل جوان دارم در بهار شادابی. در بهار شادابی. حالیا بنو که نی با شما به شام آیم. حالیا بنو که نی با شما به شام آیم. آخرین نبردم را باز و با خزان دارم در بهار شادا. شکوه از در بهار شادابی. از میان تشت زر بایزید بدگوهر. از میان تشت زر بایزید بدگوهر. باز و هم و نی خواهر جنگ نهروان دارم در بهار شادابی. در بهار شادابی. زیر دست گلچین باز از خدا سخن گویم. زیر دست گلچین باز از خدا سخن گویم. غنچه لبان زیر چوب خیزران دارم در بهار شادابی. در بهار شادابی. زشک چشم رزبانی صفحه دگر تر شد، زشک چشم رزبانی صفحه دگر تر شد، بس که قلب سوزان و اشک بی امان دارم در بهار شادابی، در بهار شادابی. باغ من پر از گل بود، با خزان نبردم شد، باغ من پر از گل بود، با خزان نبردم شد، روی نخلوهای نی باغ ارغوان دارم در بهار شادابی، در بهار شادابی. صلوا على محمد و آل محمد. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا محمد بن عبد الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين ويعسوب الدين علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا حسين الشحيد، السلام عليك يا علي زين العابدين، السلام عليك يا محمد الباقر، السلام عليك يا جعفر الصادق، السلام عليك يا موسى الكاظم، السلام عليك يا علي الرضا، السلام عليك يا محمد الجواد، السلام عليك يا علي الهادي، السلام عليك يا حسن العسكري جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان ويا خليفة الرحمن ويا إمام الإنس والجان، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك ورحمة الله وبركاته. صلوات.
Inshallah, we'll have Jama Salat at 9:25. We are serving food boxes at the entrances. And lastly, we will be continuing with the weekly Majalises program, and we look forward to seeing you all. Thank you. Jazakallah.